right, we're back, y'all. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you all so much for joining me. Anyways. But, Dex, I'm going to be honest with you, though, Dex. I don't think you're missing too much. I can't remember who said this. I want to say it was Hassan Piker who said this when I was watching a stream, because he was, like, in a Midwest, like, I want to say it was Ohio? I might be wrong on this, where he was like, once you've been to like one Midwestern town or one Southern town, you've kind of been to them all, because the Midwest and the South are all pretty much look alike. And it's true. Having lived in the South and been in multiple Midwest states and stuff, everything kind of looks the same. There's not a whole lot of unique features in Middle America and South and in Southern United States. Central United States, Midwest United States, and all that. Like, everything everything just kind of looks the same. Like, in Arkansas, you go from one town to another, and you're just like, yep, this all looks the same. Because, like, I don't know, like, and maybe it's just because I've lived here for most of my life. Like, I've lived in Arkansas. I either lived in Arkansas or lived in Ohio, and then just traveled around a lot. That it's just like, a lot of it just looks the same. When you go to, like, and to be fair, I would argue that, like, even like traveling through California and stuff, a lot of the cities look very similar. A lot of the stuff looks similar within the context of what California is, within the context of what New York is, and stuff like that, but I would argue that there's no distinguishing features in the South or in a Midwest state like Ohio, Iowa, Missouri, Nebraska. I've never been to the Dakota, so maybe the Dakotas are nice. I don't know. Never been to the Dakotas, though, so I couldn't speak on that. But, like, I'm also, for me, like, this might be just, like, a jaded thing on my part, but, like, I don't really care about locations too much. Like, Southern hospitality? Who has Southern hospitality? The Dakotas? That's funny if the Dakotas have Southern hospitality. But, like, I'm not a big, like, I don't know how to explain this. Like, I've never been wowed by a city. I've never been just wowed by a location. Even, like, when I was living in Japan and stuff. Tokyo was cool, but it was just like, it's a city. That's how I process freaking being in Tokyo. It's just like, Tokyo's cool, but it's just a city. There's a lot of people around. Cool. But I don't know. I'm just jaded, I guess. I don't know. I wish I could get excited about being in different cities and stuff. But I just don't get excited about it for some reason. I'm just weird. Just the South in general, not the Dakotas. Oh, yeah. So what is your context of what Southern hospitality is, Dex? What does that mean to you? I'm curious. As somebody who's lived in the South my entire life, I can tell you what it is, because it's a thing, but I'm curious what your perception of what it is. You know what I mean? Because it is a thing. This is a real thing. Southern hospitality is a real thing, but there's an asterisk next to what that means. Living in Reno all my life, I would have been wowed by cities because for me, bigger cities feel like a whole different world. Yeah. It also might be because, like, when I was younger, I traveled a lot. Like, going to cities and stuff, so maybe that's why it doesn't really affect me at all. But, I don't know. Again, I just have, like, a weird, jaded perception of the world when it comes to traveling and visiting locations. Woof, woof, woof. Woof, woof, woof. Sorry, my dog was barking. I had to make fun of him. To me, it's like we're gonna feed you, make you feel like family, but call you sugar. But adult jaded me thinks there is a asterisk, and that only includes white people. All right. So Southern hospitality is we're gonna do that. We're gonna be nice to you. We're gonna call you sugar. We're gonna treat you like family. And then the moment you're gone, we are gonna talk so much shit about you. That is what Southern hospitality is. It is we're going to talk shit about you behind your back. We're going to probably sometimes we're going to say it to your face, but put a smile on it too. That's the other thing. There's a lot of nuanced sarcasm and judgment that goes with it as well, where they will smile. They'll smile and go, "Oh yeah, that's so nice." But in reality, they're like, "Yeah, you're a fucking idiot." Like that's basically what it is. So it's a lot of judgment. It's a lot of fakeness is the best way to put it. There's a lot of fakeness when it comes to this idea of Southern hospitality. It is an actual thing, and you will see it. And yes, it tends to be more white people leaning. What's up, Alistair? But there is a inherent judgment that comes with it. So it's not actually people being nice to you. It is, oh, we're gonna fake being nice to you, but then treat you like garbage behind the scenes and stuff. It's a whole thing. It's a thing though. Yeah. Sorry. But yes, it also a lot of white focused things, a lot of judgment and stuff. The best way I could put this is like a person I dated. I met their family. They were like super southern white folk. And the grandparents, when they met me, the grandmother was like, "Oh, you're that Mexican dating my granddaughter." And I was like, "What? We don't really care for your kind, but hey, welcome." It's like, what? What? She didn't actually say we don't like your kind or anything like that. It's just like in my brain, that's how I interpreted it. That was something. That was something. And I'm like, I'm not Mexican, Puerto Rican, ha 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 ha. And then you just suffer through it. And then you just suffer through it. And this isn't to say the South is entirely bad or anything like that. There are some, like, people that take Southern hospitality, like, to the extreme and stuff, where they are nice and they actually follow the stereotypical, oh, we're gonna feed you, we're gonna be nice to you, and all that. But in my experience, by and large, Southern hospitality is just fake niceness and a lot of judgment. It's that illusion. My in-laws were like, "You're dating a white boy?" to my wife when we started dating. Nice. Hey. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Any person I've ever dated, when it comes to my Puerto Rican side of the family, they're always like, oh, my grandma, my abuela especially, is like, oh, you just need to find a good Puerto Rican girl. You don't need the white girl or the white boys. You need to find a good specifically good Puerto Rican Catholic girl. So that's what I need, apparently. It's what I need, apparently. That's what they would say to my wife, but Mexican, yeah. Which is funny because, like, my mom is just, I mean, she's Irish Italian, but, like, she's white. So it's like, they didn't complain about my dad. Ugh. Maybe they did, and I just never heard the stories about it. The scandal was my mom getting married to my dad. Because they did that in secret. And that, like, upset my mom's side of the family. They got married in secret and then, like, had a proper, like, wedding, like, a year later. That was back in the 80s. To be fair, if I, like, ever get married, I probably would do, like, a secret wedding thing. I don't know. I guess, obviously, it depends on what my partner would want. But, like, I don't want to make a big deal about it. If I ever meet somebody that actually wants to spend their life with me or whatever. That's mainly because, like, I'm not big on ceremonies and stuff like that. I'm so gosh darn informal and so gosh darn antisocial that extends to weird things like that, too. Shouldn't say weird things. People get married all the time. I'm the weird one for not getting married. Yeah, my in-laws gave me shit for being a white boy, which I get because white people suck, but they do love me and enjoy having me around. Listen. You're fitting that stereotype. I don't like the stereotype. Every Mexican family has a white boy, right? So you're just fitting in the stereotype there, you know? Just fitting into that stereotype. Get out of the way. Yep, after I see them, my TikTok algorithm is filled with every Mexican family has a white boy videos, yeah. Because it's true. You gotta fit that stereotype. But is it a stereotype if it's real? You know? I'm joking. That sounds very horrible of me to say that. I'm sorry. Don't punch me. Actually, punch me in the face. I deserve it. All right. Don't worry, I got this. But I love getting proverbial gold stars when I talk to her grandparents and they ask how I am and I say, bien y tú? And they just go, whoa, good job. Yeah. Bien y tú? To be fair, I don't speak a lot of Spanish myself, so I'm a bad Puerto Rican. I'm one of the bad ones. I don't speak Spanish. Unfortunately. It's my dad. Me and my sister and I blame it on my dad. for why we don't speak Spanish. He never taught us when we were younger. He never even tried. And he says he did try, but because my sister and I both have memories of him like distinctly not trying, we think he's just trying to cope. He's trying to cope and rewrite history. My sister and I both have distinct memories of him being like, I'm not going to teach you. So I can get context some of the time, but I know very little. I can read Spanish pretty well. I don't know what I'm reading, but I can do it. Yeah. Sorry, my Pookie Pook is barking. Alistair! Stop it, child. Demon boy. Alright, what's over here? What do we got? There we go. What's over here? Oh, inside. Ugh! Inside the flower beds. Gross. There we go. My wife grew up slowly learning it, but her grandma said she wouldn't talk to her until she learned to speak Spanish, so that's why she knows as much as she does. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Nope, I don't need that. I mean, it's good to know. It's something that, as an adult, I should have I should be more proactive about learning and stuff. To like, you know, get in touch with my roots and everything like that. But I'm also, it's I don't know. I'm bad at learning languages, and I tend to give up too easily. Like, for some reason, my brain just struggles to learn languages. I don't even know if my sister's made any efforts, honestly. I haven't ever asked her if she's ever made strides to try to learn Spanish. I mean, I took Spanish as my language course in college and everything, but beyond that, I've never, as a functioning adult outside of college, I've never made strides, you know? And again, I'm just a bad Puerto Rican. Just a bad Puerto Rican in that regard. Being an English speaker in my life, I struggle with gendered aspects of Spanish, that everything has an associated gender, and that changes how you talk about something. So I get confused, yeah. Yeah, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I struggle with it too. I'm just like, my brain, I'm so English coded, it's hard to process it in my brain space. Bread is just bread, not being bread, not bread being either masculine or feminine, yeah. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, English is a freaking stupid language, so who's to say that English is right or wrong? Because English has some weird, stupid rules too. Or rules that seem very strange for learners of English. It's one of the things I had to quickly learn when I was teaching English in Japan, is like, okay, how do I phrase this so they understand it a little bit better? Because this word could mean multiple different things depending on context. And so it's just like, oh, it is, and I'm not talking shit, just explaining why I get confused. Yeah. No worries. English is the worst. Because, like, on one hand, yes, the masculine feminine thing is can be a little strange at times and stuff, but I do feel like Spanish is a little bit more straightforward. Even French, to an extent, I think is a little bit more straightforward. Japanese, Mandarin and stuff, all pretty straightforward. But this is also as somebody who doesn't speak any of those languages and just knows a little bit of each. I think the challenge with me when it comes to like Japanese and Mandarin and even Korean, it's like just the way the words sound coming out and stuff. Like, I don't know how to explain it beyond that. Just like it's hard to just say the words for me. I can read very well in Japanese, in hiragana, katakana, and kanji. But, well, kanji, I should asterisk to that. Kanji is still a struggle for me. But hiragana, katakana, I can do fairly well. With, like, actual spoken Japanese, ugh, it's the worst. It's so bad. It's so bad. But at least I can read, you know? I was able to get around fairly well with the limits I have when it comes to Japanese. But the way inflection can change the meaning of a singular word in English is crazy thinking about it. Yeah, it is crazy. It's inflection, it's context. It's also colloquialisms, right? Specific regional specific regional things. That's something that I say here in the South, maybe something completely untranslatable over in like your neck of the woods and stuff. You're just be like, I don't know what that means. I have no context for what that means because I'm not from the South type of deal, you know? It's the same like if you go from New York to California and stuff. It's just regional colloquialisms and phrases and stuff that are just like, you lose me there. But that's like in every language as well, where depending on region, things will change. Language is fascinating when you start really like breaking it down. I wish I would have learned various languages when I was younger because it's easier. It's always been said that it's easier to learn a language as you're developing than trying to learn it as an adult. And so I wish I would have. I wish there would have been more effort in that side of my education when I was younger. And this isn't like a slam against my parents or anything. It's just something that, like, if I ever have kids, which is probably highly unlikely, I would make an effort to be like, yeah, you got to learn these languages. You got to learn Spanish. You got to learn Japanese. You got to learn German or something, you know? Because I do think that makes you a more well-rounded person. And I think that's one thing that Europe and just the world in general outside of the United States has a leg up on the US in so many ways, is that like in Europe you'll find it's pretty common to find people that speak 2 to 3 different languages, you know? And so that's like something US just doesn't really have. Yes, we have like people that speak Spanish, but like the majority of people just don't speak another language outside of English. But I'd hate to be learning English and then learn that them say shit with different inflections meant completely different stuff, and it has nothing to do with the dictionary definition of the word. Yeah. It's wild. It's wild. Oh. I keep forgetting how to play this game. Pressing all the wrong buttons here. Oh, absolutely. Learning more languages is so good, and We should encourage that more here, but people are scared of different languages. Yeah, it's the U.S. is just the U.S. is just very, and this is like not unique to the United States because a lot of countries are like this, and this might be controversial for me to say because the U.S. is very much a melting pot, but to some extent, the U.S. is very xenophobic, and this isn't like. I think it's xenophobia in a way that people don't realize, where they're just like, I'm not going to learn another language. Why would I do that? I got English. It's like, that's a very xenophobic perception to have. Even if you're like very welcoming and nice person to people of other cultures and races and stuff, it's still rather xenophobic by saying, I'm not going to learn another language because I have English. Why would I need to? And like, maybe xenophobic's not the right word for that. Maybe ignorance is the right word for that, but it's still I don't know. I hope that made sense. I would say the ignorance is more of, I just don't know the language, rather than I'm not going to learn the language. But like, that's something we should talk about as a culture, is like our inherent xenophobia that we accuse other cultures of having and stuff. And again, we are one of the biggest culminations of cultures, languages, races, and so many here view that as a threat. Yeah, it's wild. And I'm sure I'm going to ruffle someone somewhere is going to watch this in the future and be like, that's not true. The U.S. is so accepting of other people. And it's like, yeah, we are to an extent. But we also ask them to conform to us rather than us just trying to make basic adjustments so they can make their lives easier and stuff. I don't know. Anyways. Wall trim. Where's this wall trim at? Oh, there it is. Here we go. Ugh. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Oh, here. There we go. Doorknob. Here we go. Here we go. Wait. We have a history of saying that, but then forcing assimilation and destruction of cultures and languages. So, yeah, exactly. We have a nice idea, but again, it is what it is. I mean, the U.S. started as a colony and now are, in a lot of ways, very imperialistic in their perception of the world, so... But don't worry, Dex. We're just too woke, you know? We're just too woke. That's all it is. How are you liking this sequel? Anything you really love? I mean, it's just more of the same. I like the new equipment that you have. Like, I don't really use this at all, but I like it. I don't use this I haven't really used this in any scenario yet, but I like the idea of it. I like the idea of it because it looks cool and it sounds cool. I don't like the item system. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. But like the items that you can like design through your house and stuff, I am not the biggest fan of that. It's a good idea. It's just I don't think it keeps bugging out. It keeps bugging out like crazy for me when it comes to it. So like the item placement and everything. Nice. We're done. YouTube. Ah, beautiful. Look at it. So beautiful. At some point, I just gave up on using soap. I do feel like soap is a lot better in this one than in the first game. I never felt like soap was doing anything. But in this one, I feel like soap is doing more. So that's another thing I like. But this whole thing here, like, I don't enjoy this. Because, like, I don't think it does a really good job of telling you where you can place stuff. Sometimes I'm not able to pick things up. Like, this morning when I started the game up, I was like, I'm going to rearrange the stuff before I start the stream. And, like, I was struggling to pick things up. I had to, like, put everything back in the inventory and pull it out again to pick it up. So, like, it was just bugging out, and then just, like, general, like, placement and stuff is annoying. So, like, I can't place this right now. And I don't know, just... This does not feel good yet. This whole idea. I like the idea of it. Like, I like the idea of it. I like having to buy items and then cleaning the items and then placing them around and stuff. I like the idea. I just don't really care for the decoration aspect of it. Because, yeah, it just keeps glitching out on me. And, I just keep running into so many issues with it. And so, like, I'll clean the items and then just throw them in here. And this place is going to look like crap because I'm just cleaning the items and throwing them in there. But, yeah, it's just a chore. It's kind of annoying. And then, of course, I love these guys. I love Squeak. Squeak. Oh, sorry. Squeak. I love Squeak. I love Bubbles. And I love Ulysses. I love my little children. And my cat pillow. And then the other thing too, like, I like this idea too. But I also am like, why would I ever come here when I can just go to the menu and do it in the menu and make it a little bit easier and not have to worry about accidentally clicking on the wrong thing? You know? I like the idea of it. But I could just go to the menu, go do that, and then have all of it at my fingertips. There's no reason for me to come here and look at this and click on these. Like, it's nice to have these trophies, I guess. Fill out the trophy wall. But why would I ever want to click on any of them to get me to the place? I don't know. But, gameplay-wise, I mean, it's more of the same, right? It's more of the same gameplay-wise, so I like it. All right. Dun, 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 dun. What new items can we get? $100 for this futuristic shelving. Let's buy it. Let's clean it. Beautiful. Is this futuristic shelving? I feel like this is just standard shelving now. Like this design. I feel like this is a common design that you will find in most places these days. What is futuristic about this? You know? Maybe I'm the barbarian. Maybe I'm just from the future. Maybe I'm from the future. I don't know. Now, I haven't played multiplayer at all. I haven't played with anybody at all in this game. But I've seen that people are having, like, major issues with, like, desync and stuff. So, I don't know if that's going to be... I mean, I'm sure that's probably going to get addressed quickly for folks. Because I know, like, a lot of people love playing these games with their friends. So... But yeah, I've been seeing, like, if you go over to, like, Steam, you'll see a lot of people complaining about desync and stuff. So there's that. But I haven't played with anybody, so I honestly couldn't tell you. how that aspect. But gameplay wise, it's just like the first. I mean, it's just more of the same. So if you liked playing the first one, you'll like playing this one. Just with the caveat asterisk of if you're wanting to play with your friends, it may not work very well. But being a solo player, because I don't have any friends, I'm not having any issues. So beyond the decoration part. Because I have no friends. I'm a loner. I have no friends. Nobody likes me. It's true. The only person who likes me is Trump. I would have to disappear from the face of the earth if that was the case. Oh, good. I also feel like they're a little bit more generous with when you clear an item than in the first game. I feel like in the first game you had to like hit almost every single aspect of the thing, but I feel like in this one, can't have issues if you don't have friends. Exactly. But like, I do feel like they're a little bit more generous with the clear state in this one than they were in the first one. Because I feel like in the first one I was like spending hours and hours trying to like find that exact spot. Like, okay, there's something here that I'm missing, but my cue is not picking it up. My like little button to press to highlight the dirt and stuff is not picking it up. So I guess I'm just gonna sit here and run through it like forever. Yeah, right? Like you had like this one single spot that you couldn't see because the highlight wasn't picking up. But I feel like in this one they're very generous this time around with when you get the clear state. Which is nice because that was one of the frustrating aspects of you finished this big map, you know, but you got to hunt down that single spot on a window that's on the second floor, but you can't find it because the highlight's not picking it up, and you just start spraying randomly hoping you get it. I don't feel like I've had to randomly spray to get something finished, is the best way I can put it. So, but yeah, yeah, I don't think we're gonna start a new map today. I don't really. We're gonna be winding the stream down in a little bit, so I don't want to start a map and then have to break it up. You know, like the shooting gallery. I'm sure it's gonna take me a bit of time. It's probably gonna take me more than 20 minutes. So I think we'll just wind the stream down here, and then I'll be back on PowerWash Simulator later. I'm debating if I want to take another week off from Baldur's Gate 3 to let YouTube catch up to Baldur's Gate. Because right now I'm on episode 20 or something like that on my YouTube uploads with how I break up the episodes, or how I break up my streams. I break them up into episodic format to make it more consumable so people don't have to just sit there for 2 to 3 hours to watch a stream. They sit there for about 40 minutes to an hour, sometimes less, sometimes more. So I think I want to take another week off and then start Baldur's Gate back up next week in November. And maybe we just play PowerWash Simulator all week, every morning. I think that's what we'll do. Because, yeah, I just want YouTube to catch up. Because I have uploads for YouTube going like pretty much to the end of November when it comes to Baldur's Gate. So, like that whole schedule is already planned out until the end of November. And anyways, let's take one more look at my children. Squeak. Squeak is my favorite. Because look at Squeak. Squeak is my favorite. Look at it. Look at him. Look at him. He's so cute. Bubbles is cute too, though. She's a cutie patootie. And then, of course, Ulysses. The noble Ulysses. The cat that we stole from the mayor from the first game. Anyways, that's the only plot point that I remember from the first game involves Ulysses. I don't remember anything else about the first game, like story-wise. There was a volcano. We cleaned that statue. The statue, like, stabilized the volcano or whatever. But I remember the cat. I remember the mayor constantly losing his cat and stuff. You say stole, I say liberated, right? The mayor was an awful cat dad, you know? The mayor just kept losing his cat. It's not our fault that the cat chose us, you know? Anyways.